2021 has been read for the first time. Next item.
Mr. Speaker, the next item on our order of the day is second reading of Oyo State Land Control and Administration Bill 2021/21, a bill for a law for the control and administration of land use in Oyo State and other matters connected thereto. Honorable Esther, another commercial search.
Sponsor of the bill, please lead the debate.
Right Honorable Mr. Speaker, sir. My name is Honorable Dele Adeola. I represent the people of Iseyin and Iteswaju State Constituency. The bill that has to do with the control and administration of land use in Oyo State and other matters connected thereto. Right Honorable Mr. Speaker, if you agree with me that today we have a lot of land dispute issues in courts of law due to the cumbersomeness of the process of land acquisition in the state. On this note, that we have come up that to ensure that people that want to invest in Oyo State, they have a confidence in land possession, they have confidence in their property, and there must be a law that has to give them that confidence. And that is why this bill is coming up this time around, sir. Mr. Speaker, if you still agree with me that a lot of strangers with ulterior motives may really come to your state and acquire land without really knowing the purpose of which that acquisition is meant for. And they will further in the documentation, getting the CFO and unnecessary things. And you will understand the fact that when somebody has CFO, at least he had 90% authority on that land. Then that land can be used for anything. Mr. Speaker, we believe that if strangers are coming and they want to acquire volume of land, going to 100 acres, 200 acres, there must be a process to understand what is the purpose for that land. What is it meant for? What do you want to use it for? Who are you? Are you a stranger? Are you somebody that wants to add to the development of the state? Or you are coming with another notion? I think this bill is solving that problem if it is passed. Mr. Speaker, as I'm concluding on this, we realize the fact that there are many developers in the state today who are non-professionals, amateurs, and they are in the society coming out with different kinds of policies affecting land administration in the state. Some of them will just come and they possess the land from their family and they cut it in the layout, set it out, and they begin to sell it to our citizens without really involving the followers, the professionals. What is the value of this land? How much is it expected to cost? Then the layout, does it really follow the master plan of the state? What is the initial purpose of that land for the state before? And today, you just see that anybody that has among anything in his pocket can just go into developing estate development. This bill is addressing this, that those people who are into estate development should inform the professionals, and they should be supervised either by the Ministry of Lands or the Housing Corporation, so that there will be effectiveness in the charge of their duty. Right Honorable Mr. Speaker, I believe with all this and some other comments people will make, it will help us to sanitize the land administration defects in Oyo State. Thank you very much.
Before you conclude, what about the present land laws within the state? And do you believe that, is there your opinion that some of these matters were not taken care of in the other laws that are presently in place right now in Oyo State, and what are the laws, if you can help us out, and how would this really change the dynamics from what we already have on ground as of today?
Yeah, thank you very much. The Land Use Act that we have in Oyo State is a land which is enacted by the federal government, but being domiciled in Oyo State too, and it's being saddled with responsibility to cover the areas by which the governor has the overriding interest, overriding power on any land, and that is all, nothing else. But we are talking about the process of acquisition. Mr. Speaker, you agree with me that from any country in the world and come to Nigeria and go to, let me cite an example like Ishain, and say I want to buy 5,000 acres of land without any documentation from the government, and that person will just go to the family. Even the family can even sell a wrong portion of land for him, and it doesn't pass through government parastatal at all. Now, what we are now saying with this law, that it will help that kind of person that is coming. If somebody has purchased 5,000 acres of land, and at the end of the day, after like 6 months, he now realizes that he has fallen into the hands of the wrong person, and now definitely it will deter development in the country or in the state. But when we follow the due process of which this bill has already highlighted, that you are coming to a saying local government, you want to purchase 5,000 acres of land, what you first need to do, consult your lawyer or consult a professional. After you have consulted a professional can liaise with the chairman of that local government, and a body will be formed. They will look into that land. What is the purpose of this land before? Has been land acquired before? Or maybe the government or the local government or the state is having a plan ahead for that place. Then after ascertaining the necessities of which that land is, they can now make a recommendation for acquisition. Then that kind of person can now contact his surveyors or anybody for proper acquisition. And that means in the process of development for the initial purpose that person has acquired the place for, then nobody can disturb him. And he have a lot of people to witness on his behalf. And he will be rest assured that wherever he is, his self-confidence will be increased, that he has no problem. Of which this one is not included in the Land Use Act. What the Land Use Act just says that the governor, if any time, at any point in time, the governor wants to use any land, he has power to acquire land anywhere and override it for any purpose. That is what is expected in the Land Use Act. That is what is in the Land Use Act. More so, sir, we have a lot of developers today, and they are just, some people can acquire like thousands of lands, and they will cut it into plots. But there are regulations that guide planning. Maybe if an area is going to like 1,000 plots, they are supposed to be markets, they are supposed to be this. All these people are not followed, and nobody is supervising them. No law is supervising them. No law is guiding them. And that's why we are coming up at this point in time that a ministry should be empowered, or housing should be empowered, to carry out that assignment, to supervise them. Before you start the implementation of the land you have acquired, give us your master plan. Let's see what is there. They will check it. If there's no provision for hospital, you will check it. Mr. Speaker, if you go to most of the estates we have that are private-owned estates in Ibadan today, hardly you will find a school, hardly will you find an hospital, hardly you will find a police post, hardly you will find a football pitch, because they did not follow the planning rules and regulations. And no law is giving any ministry or anybody power to supervise them or to checkmate them. And that is why I think at this point in time, this law is very, very important. And if it's given a passage, it will help us to sanitize land issues and disputes that are occurring incessantly in the state. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. The Right Honorable.
Mr. Speaker, sir, once again, Asimi Alarako is my name, the minority leader of the Ninth Assembly, a co-sponsor of this bill. I want to start from where the last speaker concluded, that if this is passed, the communal classes as a result of land dispute will become a thing of the past. Particularly, this bill will foster a better relationship the Ministry of Lands and the Bureau of Town Planning within the state. Presently, they are working at cross purposes, and that is why in the inclusion of those who will constitute the land administration, we made provision for a representative of Ministry of Lands and Urban Development from urban and regional planning, who shall not be below the rank of a director. And from this law, B below. B is missing. So please add it to the bill. And also that if we look at, we want to believe that if there's no complete departure from what obtains now, definitely we are not in the 21st century. All land belongs to the government, and the government has overriding power over everything. But you see, most of the time, it is always very necessary for government to pay compensation to the identified families additionally. This is very, very important. And also that from the professionals, either estate surveyor, land surveyor, this will encourage them to prune down their own fee, because practically a lot of them, people do not go to them because of the bill and the fee. And I can remember that at one of our plenary, we discussed this issue of the bill when I mentioned that I wanted, and one lawyer charged 180,000, and I had to go to another one that charged 35,000. Practically, you will know that, and they are going to do the same thing on the agreement. At least they do not own the land. So, as a result of all this, coming to operation of this law, we allow for all this one to be in place, at least when the land surveyors, where they can take money that will not be too exorbitant, and the estate valuers. And from all the layouts, we have a problem in Oyo that the coming to operation of this law will raise. A lot of our people are not educated. And when people come that they want to use their land, behind them, some people may go there and survey the land without the owners knowing. And practically, they will take over their land from them. So all this one, we open our people's eye to the fact that if they want to give any land to anybody, they must make appropriate to the Ministry of Land that we are giving this one, not that we are selling them. It is very, very important because our people don't know. We have recently, somebody came that he has surveyed the perimeter of a land within our area with helicopter. By the time the helicopter was hovering over our land, we did not know that they were surveying the entire land. And it has become a court process now. So in the light of this, it is important that if what we had is a law, an edict of the military over land by Obasanjo in 1970, this is 2021. Another one must be made, particularly to protect our people within the states. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So when eventually this law is committed to the appropriate House committee, let us remember that the professional fee of those professionals that we inform must be taken care of in this law to protect our people. Thank you very much.
Comprehensive argument. With what the sponsor and what the co-sponsors has pointed out, I believe that this law, with no doubt, help us process land usage easier, more effective and more efficient. And also this law, especially considering all the unrest that we've had, especially over land issues, At this point, we need a motion to be moved at some point. Honorable Elike.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to commend the mover of this bill and those people that have contributed to it. Quickly, I just want us to look at the composition of the Land Administration Committee. That's, I think, section 2. We have a chairman of the local council concerned. I think under the State Land Administration Committee, the chairman is supposed not to be there because we have section for the local government land committee. That's on section, I think, 5. And secondly, we have on that the composition of the Land Administration Committee. We don't have secretary. And when we have the chairman, I believe that we're supposed to have the secretary to the committee. That's one thing that I want us to note. The same thing with the local government. Establishment of local government, the Government Land Administration Committee 5.
The side note.
The side note, that's establishment of government local land administration committee.
Is that supposed to be establishment of local government land administration committee? Was local omitted from the side note?
Yes,
in that case?
Yes, supposed to be local government land administrator committee.
What about the 2, section 2?
It's supposed to be land, that's state also.
So it's supposed to be composition of states
Land
administration
committee. Under that 5, under section 5, the HLA, head of the local government administration, that's HLA, supposed to be immediately after the chairman, before you have a director of survey, director of estate. That's in that order. And that one's also supposed to have a secretary. You have the chairman, that's the chairman of the local government as the chairman of the committee. And they're supposed to have a secretary to the committee.
In the states level, who is the secretary? Well, it wasn't stated there.
That's what I'm suggesting now, that they're supposed to have the secretary. So permanent secretary is supposed to be the secretary.
So in both cases, the permanent secretary and the HLA?
Yes. To be the secretary of the committee. Now, section 14. Under registration of developers. I just want to suggest that under a registered essay surveyor,
You're talking about 14.
14C2. Registered essay surveyor not less than 10 years of experience, because in a situation whereby you have somebody of 5 years or 2 years registered, he may not have experience in terms of advice that they will give to the committee. But if you have somebody not less than 10 years, you have experience to contribute. So, thank you, Mr. Speaker. And
Honorable,
finally, I would suggest that if you cannot have a public hearing on this bill, I would suggest available to all the professionals and those people that are concerned. They can send their contribution to the committee before we finally pass the bill. If you cannot have public hearing on it, because it's a bill that
I think it's important to have a public hearing without compromise. But Honorable Diola, is there any reason in particular why the years of experience was omitted in, or was not included in 14C? Was there any reason why? Well, or do you agree with what?
Clause 5G and H. It's already specified that even the practices surveyor of not less than 10 years is
Yes.
already, and the practicing lawyer of not less than 10 years. So it's already indicates, we believe that all other professionals must not be of less than 10 years.
Yes.
But if you want us to emphasize it, there is no problem. Because if you are now saying that, and you did not say that a registered surveyor too, as you can see that clearly it is not indicated there that they must not be less than 10 years. And if you now come to a registered estate surveyor of not less than 10 years and we leave others out, then we have created lacuna. That is what it means.
That clause 14 that is talking about, the observation is most of the developers, somebody may, developing estate agency is a business which anybody can go into. If you're a rich man and you have your money, you can go into it. But what we need is you need professional advice of certain set of people who are going to form your management team. You may be the CEO, then you need a lawyer, you need an estate surveyor, you need a planner, you need a registered surveyor who is going to help you in the design of the area you want to convert to an estate. So we believe that anybody that is certified by a professional body is qualified to be a management team. This one is not talking about the committee for the government. It's talking about those people that are going to form management team with any developer, any estate developer. So, and I believe we are producing young graduates who are certified either by your professional body, my professional body. In as small the professional body are certified that you are qualified, then definitely that person is capable enough to be member of the management team. For the CEO, he is going to be the developer of that estate. Thank you, sir.
I'm sure that's a very good point, and I'm sure Honorable Sheya decided to agree with that sort of point as it will. Honorable Sheya.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Distinguished colleagues, my name is Sheya Disa. I represent Afigio State Constituency. Mr. Speaker, you are correct. From a lawyer's point of view, this help the legal practice, and they will put quacks at bay. Mr. Speaker, I think I kind of know the answer now, because you just talked about a public hearing. Because as good as this law bill is, and the intentions are good, there will certainly be some concerns. This is a landmark sort of bill if it is passed, and without a doubt the intentions are good. But Mr. Speaker, from the outside world, it might look like we are over-regulating the free enterprise. Section 43 of our Constitution talks about every citizen of Nigeria shall have the right to acquire and own immovable property anywhere in Nigeria. It doesn't give restrictions. I know the intentions are good because, like the example Honorable Adiola and Right Honorable Alakwe has said, sometimes you might fall into the wrong hands. But from a business point of view, it might come across as we're over-regulating as a state. The second thing I want to talk about is we need a master plan before this bill can work adequately. Do we have a master plan for the whole of your state? It is true that when they build estates, they don't put places for schools and religious bodies and all of those things. But there needs to be a master plan first before we can start imputing that. So I'm also concerned, Mr. Speaker, about the burden we're about to put on the Ministry of Lands. If every case that is going to this level has to go there, I'm sure the ministry already has enough on his hands. I wonder how we're going to put that into place. And then obviously, as I said, from a business point of view, it might look like Oyo State is putting an extra hurdle for businesses that want to come to operate in our state. Usually when such corporates come, they come for big numbers. They want 1,000 hectares, 2,000 hectares, as the case may be. But if you have an extra hurdle, and in Ogun State they don't have it, then it might look like we've added something extra. Be that as it may, I do agree that we need to find a way to regulate. I do make sure that our land doesn't fall into the wrong hands. And that's why I'm in total support that this House should push this to a public hearing so that we can hear from other professionals out there as to their own thoughts. But all in all, it's a good intention, but we have to balance it vis-a-vis the overregulation and obviously what the ground norm, the Constitution says. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Sheyadisa. Honorable Olawi.
Thank you. The Right Honorable Speaker, members of this distinct, it is a good bill. And at the same time, we need to add to some of the reasons why this bill is just one of those good things that should happen to this assembly and Oyo State in general. The truth is, there's a constitution of the Federal Republic that has been amended, and we need a lot of amendments now when a lot of things are unfolding in this country. The Constitution needs a lot of amendments. If I will go in line with what Honorable Sheyadisa has said earlier, the truth is the policies of the government on the land use in the country was just treated holistically. And by now, that are making laws that will suit their state, as they have to make laws for a better development. If any developer has good intentions, they would not want to go, they would not go back in going through any rigorous guidelines or laws that is set by a particular state. If you have good intentions, if you want to buy a lot of hectares of land, and the law says you have to go through the local government to the state ministry before you purchase or before you pay. There are a lot of people, like the Right Honorable Alakwe has said, they will come to your community, they will pay, they normally call the money, Owo Iwoko, and before you know it, they have measured your land. And before you know it, they are already rolling out the land they have not paid for in millions. And before you know it, they are paying back to the owner based on what they are collecting. Not that they are coming with any bulk money. Let's leave money aside. It's not money that matters now. Insecurity is everywhere in the country. It's one of those points we need to critically look at. If anybody just come around, purchase 10,000 hectares of land, and nobody knows what this person wants to use this land for. You don't know whether it's coming for farming, you don't know whether it's coming, the kind of investment here. Then there may be ulterior motives. There must be more rules, there must be more guidance so that we won't have more problems. this law is going to help us. The problems we are having concerning land and the land use in this country is enough to create more problems. And as I'm talking to you, Right Honorable Speaker, and the whole House, there are some states that are making laws that will suit their states so that you cannot just come in and...
Mr. Speaker, the law we are talking about is to bring